In 1976, a Western film directed by Don Siegel and starring John Wayne premiered in theaters. That film was The Shootist, and it was John Wayne's final role on the big screen. The movie featured an incredible supporting cast, including Lauren Bacall, Ron Howard, Jimmy Stewart, Richard Boone, Hugh O'Brien, Harry Morgan, John Carradine, and Scatman Crothers. The story revolves around J.B. Brooks, a gunslinger who arrives in Carson City, Nevada, only to be informed that he is dying of cancer. He ends up staying at a boarding house owned by Bond Rogers, played by Lauren Bacall, a widow living with her son Gillum, portrayed by Ron Howard. Initially, Brooks tries to remain anonymous, but the entire town soon learns of his presence, making him a local celebrity. It seems everyone wants to profit from his name or kill him. When John Wayne's character visits the doctor's office, played by Jimmy Stewart, Stewart's character mentions it has been 15 years since they last met. The inside joke in this statement is that Wayne and Stewart last worked together in The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance in 1962, precisely 15 years before this film. The Undertaker, portrayed by John Carradine, also appeared with Wayne and Stewart in that earlier movie. John Wayne does not appear in good health in this film, and it's evident he was unwell during its production. In fact, he contracted influenza during filming and was hospitalized for 2 weeks, causing the production to halt completely. At the time, there was significant uncertainty about whether the film would be completed, as Wayne's illness was severe, and his doctors were considering stopping him altogether. Contrary to popular belief, Wayne did not have cancer while making this movie. His entire left lung and several ribs were removed during surgery on September 17, 1964, and by 1969, he was declared cancer-free. It wasn't until January 12, 1979, almost 3 years after this film was shot, that the disease was found to have returned. Ron Howard delivers a great performance, showcasing a different side of himself. As we know, he later became one of the best directors in the industry and arguably the finest child actor of his time. His work on the Andy Griffith Show cemented him as a talented actor, even at a young age. During filming, when asked if John Wayne gave him any acting advice, Howard recounted that during the final shootout scene, Wayne pulled him aside and offered some words of wisdom. Eager for profound advice, Howard was surprised when Wayne simply said, "Ron, if you want to look threatening, keep your mouth shut." The horse owned and gifted by John Wayne's character was actually Wayne's real horse. The horse, named Dollar, had appeared with Wayne in several films, including Big Jake, The Cowboys, True Grit, Rooster Cogburn, and Chisholm. To add realism to Wayne's character, archival footage from various westerns was used to introduce J.B. Brooks during the opening credits. Wayne was disappointed with the film's underwhelming box office performance, blaming Paramount for inadequate marketing. He criticized the studio for focusing too much on the then-epic King Kong and relying heavily on Wayne's name to sell the movie, which, by 1976, was less effective than in previous years. Initially, Wayne was reluctant to grow a beard for the role of J.B. Brooks. However, he eventually agreed, acknowledging that it suited the character. He was well liked by the locals in Carson City during the shoot, and they admired his friendly demeanor. Wayne stayed at a local hotel and signed autographs for young fans without hesitation. Wayne paid tribute to his late friend and frequent collaborator, Ward Bond, by naming Lauren Bacall's character Bond, an unusual name for a woman but a subtle way to honor his close friend. The bond between the two men had been strong, and Wayne deeply mourned Bond's passing. Despite Wayne's significant influence on any film set, director Don Siegel noted that they worked well together. They shared ideas, agreeing on some and disagreeing on others, but never clashed over any scene. They developed a mutual respect and appreciation for one another. The title The Shootist is said to have been inspired by gunslinger Clay Allison, a bounty hunter and hired gun known for his sharpshooting and violent outbursts, making him a feared figure in Texas. There is also a scene where a long stick is used to start the ceiling fans in a bar, a nod to early 20th century ceiling fans, which were pulley operated rather than motorized. John Wayne was highly conscious of his public image. He considered it unmanly to be photographed while having makeup applied with a powder puff, and insisted on using a particular reddish-toned makeup that flattered his complexion but caused issues for cinematographers. He also insisted on toning down profanity and explicit references to cancer from the book on which the screenplay was based. Jimmy Stewart's cameo as the Doctor was included because Wayne specifically requested it. However, Stewart struggled during filming due to poor acoustics on the large sound stages, which exacerbated his hearing problems. He often felt isolated and uncomfortable and frequently flubbed his lines during their key scene together, frustrating the director. The original script had Gillum Rogers, played by Ron Howard, killing J.B. Books, an act that horrified Gillum so much he discarded the revolver and left the bar in disgust. Wayne had the script changed so that Books was killed by the bartender, who was then shot by Rogers. The Shootist remains a memorable film, and seeing John Wayne on screen is always an exciting experience.
Here we end. Thank you for your attention. Like and subscribe. There are many interesting things ahead. Good luck.